Yesterday, we talked about the future of the Senate Democratic leadership, and less than 24 hours later, we've got that new leadership, actually. At the head is, as expected, Chuck Schumer, who's going to be replacing the retiring Harry Reid. So he is the leader of the Democrats in the Senate for reasons that elude me, but he maintains his high-up position. But we do have some new faces, and you might be excited about one of them. We'll see. Schumer appointed 2 women to high-ranking posts on his team. Senator Patty Murray, who we mentioned, to serve as Assistant Democratic Leader, and Senator Debbie Stabenow to chair the Democratic Policy and Communications Center. Now, that is the position that we yesterday were discussing might go to Bernie Sanders. Instead, they went with Debbie Stabenow, unfortunately. Senator Dick Durbin was re-elected as Senate Democratic Whip. I don't know why, but he did. I guess he's earned it. I don't know. Now, Senator Bernie Sanders does have a position. It's a new position. He was named the Chairman of Outreach. God damn it.
Okay.
And he said this. Let's give him a chance to explain what he's going to do there before we give our opinion. I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that the budget that leaves the United States Congress is a budget that represents the needs of working families and a shrinking middle class and not billionaires. So there he's both doing his job in outreach and focusing on working families, and also he will be the ranking Democrat in the Senate Budgeting Committee.
Okay, so there's 2 ways to look at this. First one is very important. We wanted to pressure Chuck Schumer to support Keith Ellison for the DNC. He did. Yesterday, we asked you guys to call him, tweet at him, send him messages through social media, and just like I said, the most traditional way, call a Senate office to get Bernie Sanders in Democratic leadership. And you did. So I think you deserve a... And so...
I'm waiting for the beat to drop because...
Yeah.
No?
Well,
interesting.
No. First of all, look, without you guys putting pressure on our audience, all the progressives, all the demand for change, you think that the establishment would have invited Bernie Sanders into leadership? Well, I know they wouldn't have because they never did before. They never even considered it. It wasn't even anywhere near, out of, what do we have left? 47, 48 Democratic senators. He would have been number 47 on the list. Maybe.
You don't think that the new lion of the Senate, Chuck Schumer, wanted him all along?
Yeah, so you moved him up into a leadership post. Now, bless your hearts for that. And anything, if we help to lead that as TYT, well, all of our members are responsible for that anyway. Yeah. Okay, so it's all on you guys. So great job. Now, at the same time, there's like 10 people in leadership.
More than that.
So it is... from what I understand, it is 10 positions. Okay,
it's like 1/4 of all the senators.
That's right. That's exactly what I was going to say. It's a quarter of all the Democratic senators. That's a lot of people, and anytime they put a progressive in there, it's like a concession. And so they put Warren in last time, and they had to create a new post for her, in charge of being a progressive and making us concede. Okay, now they put Bernie Sanders in, and again, it's a new post that didn't exist before.
My reaction is, first of all, yes, fireworks and all that, he's in there, which is something, and he's the sort of person that he will take whatever position he has and then just burst out of it. But my reaction when I saw that they'd made a new position, then when I saw it was Chairman of Outreach, I don't know about other people here, but my reaction is, before the thinking part of my brain even works, is to do this to Chuck Schumer. What the fuck? Chairman of Outreach? That's basically saying, okay, we just want him to bring in new voters. Just please give us voters. We don't want to give you power. Just please get us votes, Chairman of Outreach. At least before, he was going to be the head of their communications and policy. That's like a big position, but now Stabenow has that, and Joe Manchin is the vice chair of that. When you combine those 2 things with him getting this new position that seems set up, it seems like the same thing as like making like a little kid like milkman or something like that in school. It just seems like a position to placate progressives without giving him a real platform to demand change in the Senate.
Here's what I got out of this segment. Little kids are made milkmen in schools, apparently.
What is it? Milk monitor. Milk monitor.
Milk monitor. Oh, well, that is a crappy job. Okay.
Do they not do that?
So
hall monitor then. Fine. There's a hall and there's milk in it.
Okay. So I largely agree with John, but there's an important caveat there. So outreach means, absolutely right. Just go get the voters. I don't know. Reach out to progressives. Make sure they're the policy. No, you guys don't do policy. No. The adults do policy. Okay. Now, First, let me answer John's question. You said, I don't know why Schumer has a job. I don't know why Durbin has a job. I know, because they're the best at fundraising.
Yeah.
Literally. And now, so think about what that means, though, just a little bit more on the mechanics of it. Schumer goes and raises money, which he then gives to the 47 other Democratic senators.
Yep.
So they all owe him. The reason he has that leadership position is because he goes, yes, he represents New York, yes, he represents Wall Street, yes, he's prolific at raising money overall, and yes, on Wall Street. And then he takes that money and doles it out to all the senators. And all the senators go, thank you very much, now here's my vote for you to be leadership. And so when he says, hey, I'd like to set the policy in this direction, and they go, well, I don't know. He goes, well, then I don't know that I'm going to give you money next time around. And they go, okay, yes, sir, yes, sir. And that's how this game has been played all along. Now, it is a weak concession to invent these new posts for Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders, but at the same time, they are now literally in the room. So when they have leadership meetings, they're in the room, and so it's before when they'd play patty cakes and they all agreed.
Sorry.
When they all agreed and they were like, yeah, it's important that we not overregulate Wall Street. When they said that, and the other 8 in the room would be like, oh, yes, absolutely, Chuck Schumer, not overregulating Wall Street. Got it, right? Now, if they say that, Warren and Sanders are going to be like, say what, Chuck?
Yeah.
Right? Nah, I don't think so. I don't think I'm going to be doing as much outreach if that's the way you're going.
Yes.
So
I hope that Joe Manchin can, from the inside, can push for progressive change.
And the person who co-chairs the whatever committee Elizabeth Warren is on in leadership is Mark Warner, maybe the most pro-corporate. And he would say, hey, I'm business friendly, right? Most pro-corporate of the Democratic senators. So there are a lot of those guys in the room. But you give me 2 solid progressives like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders versus 8 or more Democratic senators, I'll take Warren and Sanders every time. I bet by the end of whatever time period, they're in charge.
Why?
So,
Why? Why would they be in charge?
So
But let me explain why I asked that. So Bernie Sanders got in the room as well. There was part of the platform policy things after with the DNC and all that stuff. It's the most progressive platform the DNC we've ever put out in since forever and all this stuff. And also during the campaign, all the votes he garnered, all the support he garnered, all of the rallies that was built, the things that Hillary Clinton had to start halfway conceding on because she thought she was going to win was in effect. But in the back of her mind, she was still going, I just need to placate them for a while I go ahead and win this and do what I'm going to do anyway. And I'm afraid this is another version of that, just on the DNC level or the Democratic leadership level. So they've already said openly, you millennials, you progressives, you actual people who understand how America is supposed to work, you don't know how it works. They said it blatantly. Yeah, you guys are new to voting. You're new to the political process. You don't understand how it works. And there's a pat on the head tone. And once they're in, we saw from some of the emails and the back and forth of DNC talking is, well, these guys just come in and they want to talk and they want to do this and they want to say that. It's just a fling. Let's give them that position until they stop talking. So Sanders and Warren may very well talk, but they're going to keep going, yeah, sure.
Yeah, of course. So let me be clear. I'm not at all naive about this process. I know why Chuck Schumer did it. At the same time, I don't want to give him a middle finger. I want to encourage him for doing the things that we're asking him to do because that's how politics is played. And so what difference does it make? Do I not know that they're going to try to go towards wherever the money is anyway and that this is all a ruse to try to placate? Of course. But there's 2 reasons why it's going to make a difference, to answer JR's question. Number one, money is in a lot of ways a means to an end. The end is to retain their power by getting elected. What Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders can now say is, yes, money is a means to that end. Here's another means to that end. Actual votes. Yeah. Votes are what you actually need. And in the past, you would just buy those votes by buying commercials. And you would outspend the other guy and you would just be able to have a bigger microphone. And it doesn't matter if the other guy is right or wrong. You drown out his voice and you win. And that's how it worked. Well, in this day, you see that it's a little harder to drown out populist voices.
Yeah.
So we can block your votes. That's power, okay? Yeah. So then they're going to have a real conversation about which direction they're going to go. And number 2, and this is very underestimated. You know, I always tell you guys, the money flows to strong Republicans and weak Democrats because that's the game that they want to set up. But if strength always beats weakness, I'll take one strong person over at least 4 other weak ones, okay, in almost any realm. And in this sphere, now, weak Democrats got funded and they have more of the funding, and they're like, oh, okay. But when you unleash Sanders and Warren on them, well, they're weak. They were funded to be weak, so you know what they're going to do? They do like this to their donors, and soon I believe that they will be doing this to progressives led by Warren and Sanders. Strength beats weakness.
And what would really help is, like, obviously we see these opportunities in the primary like we did with Bernie Sanders, where we can rally behind him and we can try to send the party in a different direction. But how about let's not wait 2 years or 2.5 years. If it's Bernie and Elizabeth Warren in that room, backed up by just so many progressives out there around the country who will not stop pushing, who won't stop protesting, who won't stop pushing, from now until those primaries, then that is not only going to represent what Cenk was saying, but it's going to show Chuck Schumer that they have an opportunity in the midterm elections. That, yeah, he would like to maintain the position he has now, but I guarantee he'd prefer to be majority leader. And if he sees that as a possibility, then their voices become a lot stronger.
And finally, here's how strength beats weakness. So let's say these guys come up with some weak sauce compromise that in fact they actually want to do because donors do want those tax cuts. Well, Sanders and Warren can just go on TV or come on the Young Turks or go anywhere else and blow it up. They can say, no, we don't agree to the compromise. That's not a real compromise. That's meant to placate the donors, and we vote no. And when they say that, all the progressives go, oh, okay, we knew it. Schumer, the other guys are selling us out, stabbing out, whatever. And then you know what happens? They get scared.
Yeah.
And so that's power. But you guys retain that power. Sanders and Warren aren't anything without you guys. We're nothing without you guys. So as John pointed out, you've got to have their back and you've got to roar. Podcast the whole 2-hour Young Turks every single day, commercial free. All-Star Tuesdays, aggressive progressives, old school, post games, TYT classics. You get it all with membership. Do it now. tytnetwork.com/join.